Have you ever heard the phrase, "we all start somewhere"? It's usually meant as words of encouragement for beginners in a particular trade or hobby. It's honestly a powerful statement because no matter your skill level, your age, or your progress in life, we all start somewhere. In most cases, the key is to start. For me, I've always seen this quote as remaining humble no matter what. When applied to off-roading, it's important to remember that no matter your current skill level or the capability of the vehicle you drive, we all start somewhere. And with that, had to learn and grow to get where we are today. I've been doing this a while, and I've been wheeling all sorts of different trails and with a variety of different types of people, ranging from beginners to veteran drivers. Remembering my humble beginnings keeps it interesting, keeps things fresh. Because I get to see over and over again people starting off in this hobby and learning to wheel and overcoming obstacles in a figurative way and in a literal sense. I'm saying all this because today we are featuring a trail that I see as a very important part of Southern California off-roading, and that trail is Cleghorn. We all start somewhere, and this is where I started. And this is actually where a lot of people start. This trail, I've spent so much time here that I can run this trail blind, but it didn't start that way. I've had some crazy runs on this trail. From the early days of getting comfortable with my vehicle and hitting obstacles and honing my skills as a driver, to learning how to work with others, spotting, trail etiquette, and hosting my own group runs. And finally to learning how to deal with sketchy situations, icy snowstorms, breakdowns, rollover recoveries, whether it's a chill cruise with some nice views or a long day of butt-puckering obstacles. This trail does it all. So sit back and enjoy as we feature Cleghorn, where SoCal learns to off-road.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dirtnation Offroad. So today we are going to be bringing you guys another trail feature, and the trail that we are featuring today is Cleghorn. Now Cleghorn it's an interesting trail. It's probably one of the most popular spots in SoCal for a variety of different reasons, and we're going to show you why and give you some of those reasons in this video. Now this trail is super historic when it comes to Dirtnation runs. You know, we've been talking a lot lately on the channel about the 5-year anniversary and kind of reflecting on a lot of the things that we've done. And Cleghorn has been a big part of kind of the building of this channel and the things that we do. You know, our very first group run, our very first Dirtnation takeover was here. The first like 4 or 5 times I off-roaded, I came out here because this is what a lot of guys do. They come out here to learn how to off-road. Because there's so much variety, there's so many different things that you can do on the trail. You know, if you're a beginner, you can go and do all beginner stuff, run the fire road. If you're somebody who wants to, you know, try some challenges, there's obstacles to try, and they have varying degrees of difficulty and all that stuff. And this trail just seems to create drama, if you will. And like I said, we'll talk a lot about that in this video, but there is no shortage of stories with Cleghorn, and that's what I absolutely love about this trail, and that's why we're going to be featuring it today. So we're getting started today at the summit staging area, and we do have a group here. We're going to be wheeling with our Patreon members today. So what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about the different ways you can start at Cleghorn, and then we'll get started going through the trail, talking about some of the obstacles, talking about some of the, maybe a little bit of the history, and just giving you guys a full feature, full breakdown of this trail so that if you come out here, you know what to expect, and you get to just enjoy the fun with us. So that's all I'm going to say for now. Let's get started.
As I mentioned, we are kicking off today at this summit staging area, which is one of the many starting points for Cleghorn Trail. This entrance is off the 138. It's a couple miles off of the 15 freeway. There are a few entrances off the 15 at the Cleghorn exit, and the other one is usually considered the exit, which is further down the 138 near Silverwood Lake. I always like starting here because this is kind of a shortcut through the trail, as the 15 up until this point doesn't really offer much in terms of trail. It's just a flat road with some nice views, but we'd rather skip that for this run. And the staging area is a great spot to organize a group. You know, it has restrooms, a large area to air down, and park extra vehicles and trailers. Getting started on the trail, we'll be taking the main fire road, which runs through the whole trail, with optional sections along the way for those that want to try something a little more challenging. Now we've reached a fork in the road. We're going to go ahead and take a left, as the other road is what comes up from the 15 to meet with this point. Continuing on, we'll be heading up the mountain to the obstacles. Now, when you run the trail in this direction, the obstacles start off mild and continue to get more challenging as you continue. The good thing is that the first set of obstacles are a little bit smaller, they have good visibility, so you can usually park and walk them so you can decide, hey, is this something that I want to try? Now, this won't be the case later in the day, as the obstacles do get longer, and once you start them, you're usually committed.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Nice to meet you.
Simone Limon.
The bigger the panza, the better the chanza.
Hey, you know exhaust is hanging way the fuck down?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like...
It's just barely pushed on there.
Nah, he wants to flex it. No passenger. Work it, girl. Work it, girl. Yeah. Yeah, look at that exhaust. Hey, dude, your exhaust is caught on a rock. Okay, now it's out. Look at that. Look at how good it sounds now. Hey, we can get about 40 bucks for that, huh?
Fuck yeah. Metal recycling.
Dude, that shit's hot. Don't pick it up.
It's probably not hot. Let's see. Yeah, it's hot.
Holy crap, don't tell him.
What was that, babe?
Nothing!
Now we're getting to probably the most important part of the trail. I don't know if I'd call it the most popular, but it is certainly the most well-known, and that is the chute. And the key identifying marker for the chute is this rock. You pass this point, there is no going back. Now, remember I mentioned this trail is known for its rollovers? Well, coincidentally, on the day that we ran this trail, there was a Jeep rolled over on the chute. Turns out the day before, this Jeep tipped over on its side. The driver was stuck in the vehicle and required emergency services to get him out. Now, there was a whole news story on this, and as far as I know, the driver is okay. The Jeep itself, it was in pretty bad condition. I don't know how it looked up until, you know, when it started getting recovered, but it was in bad shape, and there was a group here recovering it, so we offered to jump in and assist any way we can to get the Jeep off the obstacle.
Make sure you got brake. You got parking brake, we're good.
Too new.
It's got all kind of oil.
No, it's got to be a 4.0. It's an LJ. Yeah, it's got to be a straight 6. Steering's bent on it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but that's per usual.
Yep. No, I think about it. Yeah, you're right. Because look, it's bent and the wheels are straight, so.
A little bit, though. We could probably fix it, though, right?
Yeah, I know a guy that
Get one.
Well, brakes work at least, huh?
Yeah.
Not working.
You're gonna try to squeeze. You're gonna try to squeeze on that side of the rock.
Squeeze that rock.
Yeah, there you go.
It looks good, Mel. Looks good. Keep it driver. That's good. Cool.
Okay, let's break it.
Yeah,
right
you can
there
start
for a
going
second.
passenger.
There you go, perfect, ball, perfect. Straight back.
Straighten it out.
Cut driver right here. Cut driver. Driver. Yes, sir.
Now, when they airlifted the driver out, they actually put stakes a few feet into the ground to anchor the vehicle while they recover him. One of the stakes was left right in the middle of the obstacles, so it was like in a bad spot, and it was sticking like a foot out of the ground. So before anybody goes through there, we're going to have to remove it just to be on the safe side. Simple enough. I hooked up my winch and we worked it out little by little. With all that, it is now our turn to run this chute, and I'll say, this obstacle is intimidating. It's a long, skinny downhill section that leads you over to your driver's side the entire time going down. I've been running this one for years, and even after all this time, it can still make you a little bit nervous. Towards the end is the part that catches a lot of people off guard. There's a big rock on the passenger side, and you either got to squeeze by it or go over it. Over the years, this part has gotten very dug out, which makes either option very challenging. You either risk getting too close to the rock and smashing a fender or a tail light, or you get close to the wall on the driver's side, which puts you up high, risking you tipping over on your passenger side. You got to thread the needle on this one. Long wheelbases, wide vehicles really have trouble here, especially SUVs, 5th gen 4Runners, Land Cruisers. Hey, you can do it, but it's going to be a little sketchy. I've seen so many vehicles roll over here. My suggestion to those of you out there that haven't done this section yet, don't do this one alone. If you go down here, make sure it's with somebody that's experienced that can help you out so you can take it slow, listen to your spotter, and don't let the nerves take over, because if you do all that, you're most likely going to be good.
Passenger. There, right, passenger. Hold it straight, hold it straight. Slow down. Slow. Wait. Oh. Wait. It's done. It's gone. You're good. You're good.
Moving on, the Jeep was recovered and the other crew ended up pulling it the rest of the way off the trail. Now, we stopped real quick for lunch at this little dust bowl that we usually consider the halfway point of the trail. From here on, this is probably the best parts of the trail. The fire road continues the same, but the rest of these obstacles are very fun. The obstacles get longer, more flexy, and there's a lot more off-camber sections that will really get the adrenaline going. I like these personally in my Tacoma because it gives me a chance to really flex out the suspension and see what my limits are. Now, bigger vehicles like my Tacoma, heed this warning. The chances of body damage is real on some of these sections. In fact, the day I was running this, I clipped my bedside and caused some damage on my fiberglass. Now, a quick history lesson. This section that we're walking up right now is called Pucker Hill. And this has been closed for close to 10 years now due to the amount of people that would roll over here. Walking up this section, you can clearly see why people would have some trouble here. This is steep and it's extremely off camber in order to make this turn that's at the top. I would absolutely love to run this one, but hey, it's closed and that's just, it is what it is. If you guys do want to see this section, there's actually a lot of old YouTube videos of people climbing it. Moving on, we got some more sections to get through. A lot of these have their own unique twists. You know, they're either fun rocky sections, flexy climbs, or just some general cool hill climbs.
stock.
That doesn't count as rock stacking. That was half-free. Look at that friction.
Jeremy's been napping all day, dude. His new rig. Well, no fun.
Now we're getting into our final offshoot, and hey, we are saving the best for last. This one I'd say is probably the longest, it's the most challenging, and it offers the most variety of the entire trail. There's a few washouts in the beginning which can be skipped, but it's just much more fun to drive through them.
Wiggle it.
Got it. It's coming.
It's creeping forward.
Continuing, we have a less traveled section that is actually an optional section within the optional section. This one is definitely not for big vehicles. In fact, don't bring anything you like here because the pinstriping is as bad as it gets. Just take a listen.
Look at me up with the pinstripe.
Going down another drop now. Another drop.
Getting close to the end here, this last section is called Oh Shit Creek. It's one of the more rocky sections on the trail, making for some interesting moments, especially for bigger vehicles. This one, it really isn't that difficult, but if you hit every obstacle up until this point, it's entirely possible that you're going to be running this one in the dark or late enough to where visibility is going to go down. And that just really adds to the oh shit factor. I'll be honest, I love this trail, but I definitely don't recognize that as much as I should. I learned to love off-roading running this trail. In fact, the first time I ever climbed an obstacle was here in my 1988 Toyota pickup Winchers, and that gave me such an adrenaline rush that I've been chasing that feeling ever since. I've always had a good time running this trail. Every time I come here, I love it. But over the years, I've taken that for granted. And I'd like to think that a lot of you out there probably echo that sentiment, whether it's with this trail or something similar in your area. Much like a parent or a grandparent that we love to death, but we don't call them enough. Or a long-lost friend that we take the time to catch up with them and we're reminded of what makes our friendship so special, but we lose connection. As we venture out and explore new trails and create new memories, Cleghorn still remains here as a pillar of the community, teaching new off-roaders how to conquer their fears and grow more comfortable in the vehicles that they drive. California is spoiled with great places to go wheeling, and I would argue of all of them, Cleghorn is the most important one because it is where Southern California learns to off-road. But hey, if you guys enjoyed this trail feature and you want to support the things we're doing here at Dirt Nation Offroad, I have two things for you guys to check out. First things first is going to be Patreon, where you get exclusive access to all things Dirt Nation Offroad. Hey, this run was hosted on Patreon. You get first shot at merch, you get extra content, discussion topics, and a ton of other fun stuff. And if you want to support us, you can also check us out on Big Cartel, where we have our merch store and all of our great merch options. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again next time.